Good evening, friends. Now we discuss Indian polity, फिफ्थ एडिशन का बुक्स एंड नाउ वी डिस्कस फंडामेंटल राइट्स. ठीक है, तो चैप्टर डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. तो अब इसको देखिए एंड उसके साथ साथ आप बुक्स भी खोल लीजिए एंड बुक्स के खोलने के बाद आप पढ़ते रहिए. इसको देख देख के आपका जल्दी कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. ठीक है, प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लाइफ एंड पर्सनल लिबर्टी. ठीक है, जो इसका पार्ट 1, पार्ट 2, पार्ट 3 हो गया. इसका पार्ट 4 बन रहा है, प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लाइफ एंड पर्सनल लिबर्टी. आर्टिकल 21 डिक्लेयर्स दैट नो पर्सन शैल बी डिराइव्ड ऑफ हिज लाइफ. ओके, कोई भी पर्सन शैल बी डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम ऑफ हिज लाइफ और पर्सनल लिबर्टी एक्सेप्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू प्रोड्यूस एस्टेब्लिशमेंट बाय लॉ. ओके, ठीक है. आर्टिकल 21 डिक्लेयर करते कोई पर्सन जो डिप्राइव नहीं होगा, डिप्राइव ऑफ हिज लाइफ, कोई डिप्राइव लाइफ के डिप्राइव लाइफ में डिप्राइव नहीं होना चाहिए और पर्सनल लिबर्टी के साथ एक्सेप्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू प्रोसीड्यूर एस्टेब्लिश्ड बाय लॉ. ओके, एक्सेप्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू प्रोसीड्यूर एस्टेब्लिश्ड बाय लॉ. ओके, दिस राइट इज अवेलेबल बोथ सिटीजन्स एंड नॉन सिटीजन्स. ठीक है, सिटीजन्स और नॉन सिटीजन्स के लिए उसका अच्छी लाइफ होना चाहिए. तो इसके बारे में पर्सनल लिबर्टी भी अच्छा होना चाहिए, जो इसके बारे में लॉ में दिया हुआ है, सिटीजन्स और नॉन सिटीजन्स. ठीक है, इन द फेमस गोपालन केस. ओके, गोपालन केस जो 1950 में द सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज टेकन ए नैरो इंटरप्रिटेशन. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने नैरो इंटरप्रिटेशन लिया है अब आर्टिकल 21. इट हेल्ड दैट the protection under the article 21 protection of article 21 available only against arbitrary executive. Article 21 available है only against arbitrary executive action and not from arbitrary legislative action and not from legislative action में नहीं होगा. ओके, arbitrary executive action में होगा. ठीक है, this means that state can provide the right to life and personal liberty को स्टेट प्रोवाइड करे of a person based on the लॉ के हिसाब से. this is because of the expression procedure established by expression जो है procedure होगा procedure by establishment by law. article 21 in article 21 which is different from the expression the due process of law. Okay, contained in the American Constitution. Due process of law contained by the American Constitution. Okay, here the validity of the law that is prescribed a procedure. The validity of law that has prescribed a procedure cannot be question नहीं कर सकते on the ground that the law is unreasonable. On the law ground that the question on the ground that the law is unreasonable, unfair or unjust. Secondly, the Supreme Court held that the personal liberty means क्या है? Supreme Court ने कहा, ठीक है, Supreme Court held that पर्सनल लिबर्टी. यहाँ पे देखिए, पर्सनल लिबर्टी मीन्स only liberty relating to the for this person, only liberty relating to the person, relate करेंगे person and body of the individual. But the Minaka case, by taking a wider interpretation of the article 21, therefore it ruled that the right to life and personal liberty of a person can be deprived by a law. Right to life and personal liberty a person can be deprived by a law. Okay, provided the procedure prescribed by the law is reasonable, fair and just. In other words, it has introduced the American expression due process of law. Okay, in effect, the protection under the Article 21 should be available not only against arbitrary executive action. आर्टिकल 21 जो है should be available होगा not only just against arbitrary execution जस्ट अगेंस्ट आर्बिट्री एक्सिक्यूटिव एक्शन का साथ ही नहीं, बट ऑल्सो अगेंस्ट आर्बिट्री लेजिस्लेटिव एक्शन के अंदर भी आएगा, ठीक है। फर्दर द कोर्ट हेल्ड दैट द राइट टू लाइफ एज embodied in article 21, right to life जो है as embodied in article 21 के अंदर is not merely confined to animal exercise. Article 21 is not merely confined to article animal existence or surveillance, but it includes within its ambit the right to life with human dignity. Ambit क्या कर रहा है? Within its ambit the right to life and with human dignity, and as all those aspects of life which go to make a man's life meaningful, all those aspects सबको दिखाएंगे और लाइफ का, ओके, which go to make a man's life meaningful, लाइफ को meaningful करेंगे, and complete and worth living. It also ruled that the expression personal liberty, article 21, is the widest, okay, elevated end, okay. It covers a variety of rights that go to constitute the personal liberty of a man. The Supreme Court has reaffirmed that its judgment in the Minaka case in the subsequent cases. It has declared the following rights. यहाँ पर आर्टिकल 21 में कह रहा है, following rights के बारे में कह रहा है: right to life and human dignity, okay, right to decent environment, inclusion, pollution free, okay, pollution free के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, and air and protection against hazardous industry, right to livelihood, right to privacy, right to shelter, right to health, right to free education up to 14 years of age, right to free legal aid, right against solitary confinement, right to speedy trial, right against handicutting, right against inhuman treatment, right against delayed execution, right to travel abroad, right against bounded labor, right against custodial harassment, ठीक है, right against custodial harassment, right to emergency medical aid, right to timely medical treatment in government hospital, right not to be driven out of state, right to fair trial, right of prize honor or to have necessities of life, right to women to be treated with decency, with dignity, right against public hanging, right to hearing, right to information, right to reputation, right to appeal from a judgment of conviction, right to social security and protection of the family, right to social and economic justice and empowerment, right against barfetters, right to appropriate life, personal policy, insurance policy, right to sleep, right to freedom from noise pollution, right to electricity, right to education. Right, education के article 21 it declares, the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age 6 to 14 years age in such a manner as the state may determine. Thus, the provision makes only elementary education a fundamental rights and not higher professional, ठीक है। यहाँ पर बात कर रहे हैं, देखिए, एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, एंड एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन फंडामेंटल राइट के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, एंड not higher and professional education. This provision also was added by the 86 Constitutional Amendment Act, ठीक है, Act of the 2002. The amendment is a major milestone. Amendment जो major milestone of the country aims to achieve education for all. The government described this step by step as Step as the down of the second revolution in the chapter of citizens' right. Step as down of the second revolution in the chapter of citizens' right. Okay. Even before this amendment, the constitution contained a provision for free and compulsory constitution content किया है provision किया है free and compulsory education for all children under article 45 and in part 44 again. However, being a directive principle, यहाँ पर directive principles के बारे में बात कर रहा है, it was not enforceable by the courts. Now there is scope for judicial intervention in this regard. Okay. This amendment changed the subject matter of article. Amendment जो change किया ऐसा change the subject matter of article 45 is in directive principle. It now read the states shall endeavour to provide early childhood care education for all children until they complete the age of 6 years. It also added a new fundamental duty under article 51 that reads article 45. Even before the amendment, the constitution contained a provision for free and compulsory education. Okay, यहाँ पर आ गया है article 51 में that reads okay, it shall be duty to every citizens of India to provide opportunities for education to the child. Okay, education opportunity दे education child को education दे दीजिए और word between the age 6 to 14 years. Again, in 1993, it was the Supreme Court recognized the fundamental right. The Supreme Court ने 1993 में recognize किया fundamental right to primary education in the right to life under Article 21. Right to life यहाँ पर दिया गया है Article 21. It held that every child of citizens of the country has a right to free education. Every country देखिए it held that every child की जो सिटीजन है इंडिया का कंट्री का राइट टू एजुकेशन फ्री एजुकेशन होना चाहिए अंटिल द ही कंप्लीट्स द एज ऑफ 14 ईयर्स. जब तक ना 14 ईयर्स तक कंप्लीट करे उतना तक. ओके, देयरफॉर हिज राइट टू एजुकेशन इज सब्जेक्ट टू द लिमिट्स ऑफ इकोनॉमिक कैपेसिटी and development of the state. In this judgment, the Supreme Court overruled the earlier judgment 1992. They declared that there was a fundamental right to education. The fundamental right, Supreme Court का judgment जो overrule किया है that declared there was a fundamental right होगा to any level including professional educational like medicine and emerging engineering. Okay, in pursuance in article 21. Parliament enacted the Right to Life Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. Okay, this act seeks to provide that every child has the right to provided full and time elementary education. Okay. To elementary education of satisfactory and equitable quality in a formal school which satisfies certain essential norms and standards. This legislation is anchored in the belief that the values of quality and social justice, democracy, the value जो है quality, equality, social justice and democracy, and the creation of a just and human society. देखिए यहाँ पर बात कर रहा है कि है ना ensured in this belief that the value of equality, देखिए value of equality, social justice and democracy, okay, they ensured that the belief of value of the equality, social justice and democracy and the creation of a just and human society can be achieved only through provision and inclusive elementary education for all. Okay, achieve किया जा सकते elementary education और inclusive education करने के बाद. Okay, protection against arrest and detention. देखिए article 22 grants करता है protection to all person, okay, who are arrested or detained. Okay, detention is of two types, namely punitive and preventive. Punitive detention is to punish of a person for an offences committed by him or after trial. Okay, punitive detention is to punish to a person they punish okay, and offences committed by him, okay, after trial and conviction of a courts. And preventive detention on the other hand means detention of a person without trial. यहाँ पर trial होगा after trial. Okay, यहाँ पर without trial and conviction of the conviction by a court. Its purpose is not a punish a person for a past offence, but prevent him from committing an offence in the near future. Thus, preventive detention is only a precautionary measure and based on suspicion. Okay. Article 21 has two parts. The first part deals with the case of ordinary law, and second part deals with the case of preventive detention law. The first part of Article 22 confers the following rights. The first part of the Article 22 confers the following rights on a person who is arrested or detained under an ordinary law. The first part of the Article 22 confers by following rights of on a person who is arrested or detained under the ordinary law. Right to information, right to inform on the ground of arrest, right to consult and be defended by legal practitioners. Okay, right to be produced before magistrate within 24 hours, excluding the journey time. Right to be released after 24 unless the magistrate authorities the detention. These safeguards are available to an enemy alien or a person arrested or detained under the preventive detention law. The Supreme Court also ruled that the arrest and detention in the first part of Article 21 do not cover arrest. Under the orders of a court, civil arrest on failure to pay the income tax, the deportation of an alien, they apply only to an act of a criminal and quasi-criminal nature, or some activity prejudicial to public interest. The second part, the Supreme Court ruled कि arrest detention first part Article 21 do not cover arrest under the order of a court. Civil arrest on failure to pay income tax, anti-deportation of an alien, they apply only to an act of a criminal and quasi-criminal nature, some activity prejudicial to public interest. The second part, Article 22, grants protection to persons who are arrested, detained under a preventive detention law. This protection is available to both citizens as well as aliens and includes the following. इसके बाद देखिए the detention of a person can be exceeded. Detention of a person can be exceeded नहीं होगा 3 months unless advisory board. देखिए 3 months unless the advisory board unless an advisory board reports कर सकते हैं sufficient cause दिखा सकता है, और extended detention The board is it consists of judge of a high court. The grounds of detention should be communicated to the detainee. Okay, however, the facts considered to be against the public interest need not be disclosed. Okay, public interest not be disclosed. Okay, the detainee should be afforded. Detainee should be afforded an opportunity to make a representation against the detention order. Article 22 also authorizes the Parliament to prescribe. Article 22 also authorizes the Parliament to prescribe the criminal circumstances and the classes of cases in which a person can be determined for more than 3 months under the preventive detention law without obtaining the opinion of an advisory board. The circumstances Article 22 to authorize the Parliament to prescribe the circumstances and the classes of cases in which a person can be detained for more than 3 months under the preventive detention law without obtaining the opinion of an advisory board. The maximum period of which a person can be detained. Maximum period जो है which a person can be detained in any class or classes under preventive detention law. The procedure followed by the advisory board. The inquiry. The 44th Amendment Act 1970 has reduced the period of detention. Detention period can reduce without obtaining the opinion of an advisory board. Okay, and from 3 to 2 months. Okay, however, this provision has not yet been brought into force. Hence, the original period of 3 months still continue. The Constitution has divided the legislative power with regard to preventive detention between Parliament and the state legislature. The Constitution has divided legislative power with regard to preventive detention between Parliament and state legislature. The Parliament has exclusive authorities to make the law. Okay, preventive detention. Okay, preventive detention law. Okay, the procedure to be followed by the advisory board of the inquiry. Okay. Article 44, the 44 Amendment Act 1978 has reduced the period of detention without obtaining the opinion of an advisory board from the 3 to 2 months. Okay, 3 to 2 months. Okay. However, this provision has not yet been brought into force. Hence, the original period of 3 months still continue. The Constitution has divided the legislative power with regard to preventive detention between the Parliament and the state legislature. The Parliament also divided legislative power with regard to preventive detention between the Parliament and the state legislature. The Parliament has exclusive authority. Parliament has exclusive authority to make a law of preventive detention for reasons connected with defence, foreign affairs, and the security of India. Both the Parliament as well as the state legislature can concurrently make a law of preventive detention. Law बनाई preventive detention for reasons connected with the security of state, the maintenance of public order, and maintenance of suppliers and services essential to the community. ठीक है. The preventive detention laws made by the Parliament are Preventive Detention Law Act 1950, expired in 1969. Maintenance of Internal Security Act MISA 1970, amount repealed 1978. Okay. Conservation of Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Activities Act. Okay. Conservation of Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Activities Act. Okay. COFEPOSA. Okay. 1974. National Security Act NASA. 1980. and prevention of black marketing and maintenance of suppliers. Essential. Okay. Essential Commodities Act 1980. ठीक है. Terrorist and Disruptive Activities Act, Prevention Act, TADA 1985, repealed in 1995. Terrorist and Disruptive Activities Act, Prevention of Illicit Traffic and Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act, PIT and DPSA 1988, Prevention of Terrorism Act, POTA. Okay, 2002 repealed at 2004. It is unfortunately to know that no democratic country in the world has made preventive detention as an integral part of the constitution as has been done. Okay, then in India, it is unknown that in USA it has resorted to in Britain only during the First and Second World War time. In India, preventive detention existed even during the British rule. And for example, the Bengal State Prisoners Regulation of 1918 and the Defence of India Act 1939 provided for the preventive detention, right against exploitation, prohibition of traffic and human beings and forced labor. इसके बाद देखेंगे. ठीक है. So thank you friends. I think it will help to you. ठीक है. तो thank you.